Who are some of these people? Obviously, I recognize some of them. But before official stream time rolls around, I'm gonna see if I can't figure the rest of this out. So, obviously this is John Blow, Jonathan Blow, and I think that this one is too. I can't be totally sure, because it's not Braid, which is the only other obvious one, but I think this is too. I looked up the 3D tank game he was working on a while back, and it looks similar. The HUD's a little different, so maybe not, but I think it's the same. This is Warcraft 1, and when I look for information on who developed that, obviously it's from Blizzard, but the name that comes up is Patrick Wyatt, and I don't know if this is another one of him, but I suspect that that's the situation. Might not be, but I can't find anything that looks even remotely like either of these. These are pretty distinctive looks. So I think these two go together. This one is pretty small, but it looks like Meat Boy to me. And this is the similar style, so I would think that these might go together. I don't even know what this is, so maybe not. Hard to say. If anyone has any tips about what I'm missing, you could shoot them at me. And obviously we're missing two, which is sad, but hopefully it'll be awesome, and the images will fit in, hopefully, once we get them. Whatever the images turn out to be. Hello. Hello, Buzzsaw. I'm just, my stream starts in 7 minutes, but I wanted to take a little bit of time to pre-stream and see if anyone can help me solve this little handmade con teaser. If you recognize this one, this one, this one, or this one, or this one, should help me out. This one is raspberry, which I've got right here. Whoop. Secret of Monkey Island. Oh, okay. So Buzzsaw says the top middle one is Melee Island from Secret of Monkey Island. That I should have guessed. I should have guessed Casey would want that game. Let's take a look. Yeah. Let's do this on this screen actually, Alan. Come on, you got people here looking, trying to watch what you're doing. Melee Island. Yeah. Yeah, the lower right one's Warcraft 1. This is Raspberry. I believe this top one is Meat Boy. It looks like Meat Boy. Like these look like saws. It's really small, so it's hard to tell, but this looks it looks like it must be like Meat Boy to me. Now, now the trick is to see if I can pair these two up, because I suspect that this is a John Blow one, along with this one, right? And this looks like the art style that I would associate with Tommy, although it could be the other way around. This could be, I don't know, I have to look. And then I suspect these two go together, because they seem to be near each other, but it could be wrong. Maniac Mansion, let's take a look at that. Miblo, what is STB an abbreviation for other than Sean's Toolbox? Well, one other thing we can do is we look at Secret of Monkey Island. Developer. Not Monkey Island. Secret of Monkey Island. Why isn't that at the top of the list? Okay, cool. Or it could be... Could it be one of these guys, right? Who did the programming? Well, there's two different ones. I guess Monkey Island is the series, right? Because there's two different Wikipedia pages, and I was just curious why this one wasn't on top. Alright, so it's this one. Cool. Alright. Okay, so we got that one worked out, and then this one, and does anyone recognize this bottom one here? This is Warcraft 1. I think these go together. This looks like a sort of online-ish thing too. Although I don't know, was Warcraft 1, did that already have online multiplayer? I always assume it did, but I didn't know I was playing Warcraft 1 when I was a kid, and I didn't pay attention to what features it had. Maniac Mansion Ed's Room. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Warcraft 1, insofar as it says Warcraft 1 predates TCP, I thought that was true. So it's not online multiplayer, but it's multiplayer? Is that the idea? Yeah, this is the right, like that thing right there is the same thing. So, is this also Ron Gilbert? Is my next question. And also, does anyone recognize this thing up here? Because that would be cool. But it's it is stream start time, so I'll leave the rest of this mystery, this puzzle, to be solved on our own. Let me put my little corner rectangle up here. Okay, so what I'm going to work on today is different than what I normally work on. Normally I'm doing the tree thing on a Wednesdaily basis, but the reason I'm doing some bonus streams is I've got some free time, and I've got this new side project that I'm spinning up right now, so or like this new segment of my 4coder project, I should say. So I'm going to talk about it real quick. I already made a post describing it, but basically I'm going to implement all of these things because I haven't been able to decide which one I like just by gut feeling and by people's information out there. So I'm making all of them. Right now I'm working on separating out everything for the golden array, which just means it doesn't do anything smart. And once I'm done separating that out, I want to implement all of these, including this one, which I just call bonus surprise structure because I haven't named it yet, and I'm not sure what to call it. But it's a scheme that I came up with before I started this project a little ways back when I was trying to figure out how to optimize my buffers. So I'm going to throw that in the mix and see how it does. So anyways, today we're going to be working on getting this ready to go. And my plan is that once I'm done, it should be able to either compile these things into 4coder, so I can compile any one of them into 4coder, and if it doesn't work in 4coder, obviously there's a problem there. So then it has to be adjusted to work with 4coder, but it also, at the same time, I want it to work multi-platform, so I can build it into like a test thing, and I can run all of the tests I want them to run on my computer, but also on like a Linux, and I want them to run on different, I want to try them as many places as possible to collect data about where things perform, see if they're all roughly the same, or if certain things are weird. I'm not sure how much that will vary, but it's my plan. And as I'm going, I'm also posting my progress every day on this repository on GitHub. So if you would like to follow along, you don't even have to be a backer for this, although if you are a backer, you might get other information about this ahead of time. But the code is just going to be here. I'm going to update it every day, my progress, whatever files I have relating to the testing. So this is the golden array file. Once I have the other ones, they'll be in there too, and you'll be able to hopefully eventually compile the test yourself, and then you can just send me the data that you get from running it if you want. That is my hope for how this will go down. So, with that sort of setup in place, let's take a look at what I'm working on. Let's see. Let me know if the music is too loud. I gotta play this today. Okay, so uh, basically what I'm working on is the whitespace stuff in 4coder has been kind of messed up for a while, so I'm getting that fixed. And what I mean by the whitespace stuff is uh, all of this. Alright, so basically what I have is in here I'm pulling out all the things that are sort of generic to the buffer and not specific to how 4coder works. So this doesn't have any memory dependencies or file dependencies. The only thing it has is right here, memmove, memset, and memcopy are being defined so that they can be swapped out. But if you don't define your own memmove, memcopy, and memset, you have to use the standard library ones. You just include standard library along with this and it works. So, what I'm working on right now is I'm trying to use this to set up getting the auto indent working again, because I stopped using it at one point when it became too like old and it was doing a bunch of terrible stuff where with each edit it had to do, like it would replace the white space in a section and then it would redo all the tokens, but not like relax them, just shift them, but then replace more white space. And there's a smarter thing I think I can do if I batch edit the file with a bunch of small edits. So that's one of my goals, and that's what I'm working on. Okay. Actually, I just finished coding it up, so what I'm gonna do is I'll move my debugger into this window because I had just discovered that it wasn't quite right. So what I want to do is I want to see, where is that? See, it's the file clean white space. Yep, okay. Alright, so I'm just going to run it and we're going to walk through that, because the last time I ran it, I think it messed up the file. Right now, it's not actually set up to work correctly, by the way. Let me just show you where this happens. So right now all it does is it looks at the starting position of a line, because I have an array of all the line starting positions. Look at that. Then it has this function here to just seek forward to the first spot in the line that is not white space, which I call a hard character. And that's like where the hard characters start in the line. There might be a real term for that. If there is, let me know. And then I just say, okay, we want the indentation to be that, whatever that was. Which is not necessarily great, because like if I find a tab in there, I maybe want to like multiply that by 4 when I replace it. But right now this isn't even working. The other thing is, if it returns -1, it means the whole line was white space. Alright. And then what it does after that is it creates one of these edits and puts it on the batch edit array, and then when it's all done making the batch edit array, it actually performs the batch edit here, where I actually see if I need to get more space for the file buffer and then perform the edit. After that I'll do tokens, but right now I'm not even handling tokens. I'm just trying to make the text part of this work. So let's see what happens when we walk through that. Whoops. Alright, what have we got? Line I. Okay. What's the starting position? That should be 0. Good. Now, the result of this should be 0 as well. Put some extra breakpoints in case I hit F5 accidentally. Yeah, so that's 0 as well. Now, the preferred indentation should come out as 0. Alright. And it's fine, so it doesn't produce any edits for that line, and it's good. Alright. Okay. Let's see if we get to a point where we actually produce and edit what we see. Okay, so we're producing an edit. What is going on there? Well, the preferred indentation got sent to 0 because it's a white space line. There's nothing in the line. So, that means... Oh, I see what the problem is already. So that makes hard start as -1. Right, okay. So what I actually want is just a true end of line thing in that scenario, right? I'm wondering if this should just always return the correct spot, like as it searches forward, don't go back to -1. If it gets to the end of the line, say, oh, here's the end of a line, and then report whether or not it actually hit a character like through here, like a pointer. That might be better. So okay, so if it finds a new line, or I'm going to say if it finds a null terminator, it breaks out and returns that result. But it also, okay, that also needs to be where we say, okay, it got all the way to there without ever finding a hard character. Okay, that looks better. So let's talk about let's see. Where's why is it not where I was before? Don't really want my old endline converter, so I'll get rid of that. Okay, right, so then the question is all... We'll just call that all white space. Set that to 0. Pass the pointer in right there. And then... Okay, so now instead of that, we just say, look, if we're not all white space, do this. Otherwise, set the preferred indentation to 0. And then this right here will always be the correct ending point. Let's see if that looks better when I try to clean the lines. I'll start by taking off all my breakpoints. Trying to find a spot where I will... Okay, so right here it's going to clean that white space by replacing it with an empty line. Here we go. Control Shift tilde. Ah. Interesting. Well, it's definitely still screwed up. It kept the text transform worked. It worked fine. But some other stuff did mess up. Like, I can't click on this line, it clicks on the line below it, and I skip over it when I go arrow. So I think empty lines are still messing up somehow. Wait. It's clearing out their /Rs as well. So, I think I'm gonna postpone this because... not the stream. I'm gonna postpone the work I'm doing on this because another thing I've wanted to do is just not have multiple modes of endline anymore, but just go all /n, you know, go all new line feeds. And this bug will be really hard to like it'll complicate the system if I do this correctly with multiple modes, but if I just fix the end mode first, endline mode first, and then get back to this will be easier, so it's not really worth making that work right now, I don't think. So I'm going to say all of these breakpoints are dead for now. And instead, I'm going to go back to not doing anything here. Okay. Okay, so to do the end of line stuff, first what I should do is go over to the golden array file and I'm going to remove everything that has to do with CR and LF. We're just going to always assume that the CRs we see get shown, and the LFs we see, and the LFs are new lines. Miblo asks, what was the issue Abner uncovered regarding caps lock? The answer to that is I had created 4coder 3.0, and there was no caps lock issue there, right? And when later on he found, he did a little bit of investigating for me and discovered that that was true, because I had assumed that the bug had been present in 3.0 when that happened, but it turned out it wasn't in 3.0, it wasn't in my version, it was just in the 4Abner version that I sent him. And so that was kind of suspicious for a while, but then I realized that I was switching the vanilla keys so that they would I was switching the vanilla keys so that they could be overridden, so that like if you press a key, first it tests to see if it has a specific binding, and if it doesn't, it then tests to see if it can use a vanilla key binding. And I hadn't totally debugged that when I sent it to him, apparently, because when he pressed caps lock, it was detecting that as a vanilla key, even though it doesn't count as one, and it was inserting a character, which is what happens when you type a vanilla key. So it was just a bug with me changing how that worked so that you could override specific characters, and I hadn't finished it apparently when I sent it to him, which seems crazy because it was one change and I don't even remember it being me having to revisit it, but apparently I had to debug it, and I did that after I sent him a copy. Now the reason I sent him a copy was because I fixed a much worse bug where undoing was causing the buffer to get into a really bad state where the length variable was wrong and then bad stuff happened. And I can't remember why that was happening. Anyways, that's what was going on with caps lock. All good now. So he should be able to use it if he uses 3.1. Alright, so what I was doing is getting rid of the CR-LF concept. So basically, whether or not something is new line is just a matter of if that character is equal to /n. now I'm questioning whether I even need a new line variable, but I'll leave it in. Okay, more mentions of CR down here. Again, I'm just going to say let's assume that all line feeds are new lines and that CFs are not. So, really same thing as above again. Alright, then another horrible thing I did was I ended up duplicating some code because I didn't know, like I didn't want to have an if inside of an if I was trying to reduce branching, which is fine, but I don't want to like deal with this issue anymore. So it's going away and we're just doing this. If we see /r's, it's a /r. If we see a /n, it's a new line. Okay, so now this one here is measuring width, and so CR mode is gone. We're not doing that. So what's happening, I've noticed, this has already happened a little bit in a few other places, and it's really happening now, is that as I clean up the code and separate out the things that are going to happen for the test, it's also becoming clear to me where there are explicit lines I can draw that make it easier for me to improve problems I had before. So that'll be nice, even if I flail and don't get any of this experiment done, which I doubt will happen, because I'm pretty much going to only work on this until it's done, at least in terms of my 4coder time. But even if that were to happen, the golden array version is getting better on its own, so I'm finally getting things done that I have wanted to do for a long time. Alright, new line. No, it's just gonna be, where do I use new line here? Just there? Okay. So data char I equals /n. That could just be character. Very cool. Alright, CRLF. There they are. Any other mentions? CR mode. You're gone. CR mode. No, /r is never a new line. Do /r equals true. It always equals true now. Do new line equals false. So this code here might just get better too, because obviously this do new line do /r looks silly, but it made sense when it was complicated why I would or wouldn't do a /r or a new line at any given point. Because basically, like, especially this one, maybe the new line one can't because this is in the way and that's kind of complex. But this one I could certainly just drop in the /r category if I wanted. I think I'll leave it for now, because I'm already making enough sweeping changes for one pass. Alright, so under custom.h there's this, that's where I'm currently housing this EOL show CR, yeah, that's gone, we're not doing that. There's no more end of line mode, it's always in It's always in that one mode that I'm using. Alright. That should create a bunch of errors so we can have some fun fixing them. Measure character. That'll make a bunch of errors. Unable to recover from previous errors. That's why there's not a bunch of them. Okay. Position universal fix will... Oh, this is great. This just does nothing. So... basically, all this crap I used to do can just go. Yeah, this is going to make stuff way easier on me to get this particular issue out of the code. Whoops, don't need that break. Okay. UCR, use LF. That's false. We're not using that mode. So it's just that whole segment is false and it's gone. Okay, so really we can just say file check new line. We already just have another function that does that, right? Gosh, this is gonna make such a big difference. Yeah, so there's already a function that does just that. I'm not sure why I would have it twice, actually. It probably made sense when I was supporting multiple modes, but now it's gone. UCR, UCLF, that's gone. All of these are gone. This is gone. Okay. So measure the widths. What do I have to change? Oh, you don't need an end line mode. Those are gone. End line mode is gone. That's gone. Let me go back to that real quick. This right here needs a to-do on it. Because I'm using, like, I have an old and a new version of the same thing, so I'm, like, copying everything over in a nasty way. So, remove the view cursor data. Okay. Onward. Endline mode, don't need it. Right. Right. Oh, there we go. Starts new line. Well, I don't think, is starts new line the one we have? Yes, okay. Okay, so that's always false. Oh, this is gonna make rendering better. I should have done this so long ago, but oh well, here we are. Yep, okay. Show/R. Boom. Okay, so that whole switch just boiled down to that. Pretty cool. And then this is actually going to boil down farther, apparently. So now that switch has evaporated, along with the if and the variable. Okay. Pretty cool. Okay, that's always false. If that starts a new line, if no hard character, so yeah, this looks like it should be using my new function. Else, if data position is not whitespace, that's all gone actually. Starts new line again. Yeah, so this is like the same deal as the other one. It should use my buffer function procedures now. If previous end line, Abner. This is one of the most famous piano sonatas of all time, so that makes sense. Oh yeah, so Abner's saying he's got this exact version, Wilhelm Kempf. It's very good. It's a very good rendition of Moonlight Sonata. Man. Alright. Wait, universal fix doesn't exist anymore. It just means I set this to start. Haha! Abner's asking me to code to the emotion of the music. So I'll give it a shot here. Oh, oh. Emacs is getting in the way. Why is it doing this stupid mini buffer thing? Why do you never work? Par endline mode has to go. Haha, it's done. We'll see if it works at all. Alright, so a couple people asking what I'm up to. So, the big project here is my buffer experiment, which you can check out right here. I'll post the link. That's the main information, and every night after I'm done doing my work, I am posting my code to this GitHub repository. And not all of it, not all of 4coder or something like that, but I'm posting the buffer stuff. Right now what I'm doing is I decided that the buffer stuff will be much simpler if I just stop handling different endline modes and just say that there's only /n new lines, and /r's will be treated as special characters that I render. Right, and then what I'll do is when I load a file, I'll just convert to these so you don't have a bunch of /r's at the end of your lines. But one thing at a time, I wanted to just make it so I only did the main mode. Alright. Haha! That looks pretty good. Yeah, so that looks like it's just working, which is fantastic. Very good news for me. And next what I'm going to do is I want to convert the /r/n to /n, or as I should say, the carriage return line feed to line feed when I load a file, and then you can save it with different modes if you absolutely want to have DOSified lines. So, let's start that. Alright, so this conversion will be quite similar to the Whitespace cleaning. So let's get back to that and take a look at what we have to do to make it work. but not the whitespace cleaning, the endline conversion. So crazy. That's been on my to-do list for a very long time. And now it's done. Why do I put things off when they're not that hard, people? Why do I do it? Okay, file, EOL conversion. Editing file. So I don't want to do, I'll do EOL to, conversion in. And so, question for the people in the chat: is there such a thing as, in the modern day, what's the probability? Here's how I want to phrase the question. In the modern day, what's the probability that that a file doesn't use /n to end a line? Like, I know you could use carriage return line feed or line feed, but would anyone ever use carriage return only to end lines? Or can I pretty much guess that all I have to do is look for CRLF and turn that into LF? To Famine, this is C++ in a C style. I don't comment very much, I know. It maybe is a bad habit, but I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm a very bad speller. I'm very uneloquent with my words. So I'm better off just writing in code and communicating through code than I am through English. My ineloquency is a problem. English is my second language, and C++ is my first. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with that joke. Anyone have any info on that CR situation? Can lines end? Martin Cohen's probably the one who's got the most information on this. Yeah, I believe that at one point carriage return only was used in Mac. I don't know if that's still true, if when they nixified, if they still do that, or what the deal is there. When I say English is my second language, I mean second to programming. I don't have a good grasp on any natural language. So my main question is, would I need to have a mode for reading in a file that only ended via CR, or can I trust that people are pretty much going to have LFs at the end of their files these days? Like, is there a 99% chance that your file ends with LF at the end of its file? Or should I handle it? Actually, 99%. Like, if 99.99% of people won't encounter this problem, I won't handle it. But if 99% won't encounter, but 1% will, maybe I will handle it. Okay. So what I'll do then is I just want to scan along, and anytime I see a CRLF, I just replace it with an LF, and that's the only change I make. Actually, I can do this as a buffer operation, which would be better, because we could just say that we're doing this before we lex the file. So that will be better, and I'll just write it in here. and it's only going to shrink the file, so yeah, okay. So EUL convert in. We grab the buffer, don't need a single other thing in the world, and it just says yeah, it wouldn't be too hard to handle CRI. I just don't know if I want to have, like, it's not hard in the technical sense. It's like, do I want to have a thing where you specify what kind of file you have? Or do I want to make a thing that, like, auto-detects, which seems kind of like a possibility, but maybe harder. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you just search until you find a CR, and if there's a line feed after it, you do CRLF, and if there's not, you do CR, or something like this. But it wouldn't necessarily be correct, right? No. Anyway, let's write the code for it. Yeah, Martin Cohen. I am going to convert in. So this is convert in when you're loading, and then when it saves, I'll convert out. If you have it set up to convert to DOS at line endings, I'm only going to support saving NIX files from DOS files, but I will support those because like Notepad doesn't work if it's not a CRLF end line. So, like for me, I like to save them as DOS while I'm on Windows. Okay. So I loop across everything. At each point, I say, oh, the other thing I want to do real quick is I'm using the null terminator, but not as like my main way of ending the file. I use that because it's sometimes convenient way to know that the last thing in your file is the only null terminator is sometimes convenient. Like in this case where I have to seek ahead one when I see a carriage return. So basically, if the data I is a carriage return and data I plus 1 is a line feed, buffer replace range. Is this overkill for this operation? Okay, buffer replace range seems good to me, so yeah, so Martin Cohen is saying that, and I don't know if it's specific to Hail or what. Uh, but the the trick is, uh, I'm having a trouble keeping a train of thought in conversation today. I'm not in a English mood. I'm in a code mood. The thing he's saying is that loading the file in can be a lot faster if you don't do this, so you can load it in quick and not do all these edits right up front, and or something along these lines is what he's saying, because he's using memory mapped files, and so he's just converting to non/line when or non-carriage return when you get a section of text, which makes sense to me. One thing I want to, like, my scheme I think will be very good at editing in parallel, making multiple edits across something in parallel, so you can spin up 4 cores or 8 cores or something and edit, make a bunch of parallel edits, and then sort of put them. They'll just once if it works the way I think it will. Then you'll be able to do parallel edits, and I'm hoping that will handle this. Alright. Right. Okay, so if I see that, I just want to do buffer replace range. Now that's definitely going to be overkill. We'll just mem move data plus I from data plus I plus 1 at the length of size minus I yeah, size minus I. Wait. This is where I'm copying from. So that should be -1. Oh wait. No, I shouldn't, because I want to keep the null terminator. Okay, cool. And then after the mem move, I want to decrease the size by 1. And that should just eliminate the carriage returns when I see them like that. Kind of neat. So I'm going to see if that works. And I'm also going to, actually before I do that, while I'm in here, and this isn't too hard, I'm going to do a EOL convert out, which will put it back into DOS mode. So in this one, we need, for every line we need an extra. Okay, so if size plus the buffer's line count is less than buffer max, not sure if that's the way I want to do that. Not sure. I want the size of the buffer plus the line count of the buffer, because each line is potentially going to get a /r. Furry Drake asks, size -1. Are you looking at like this code right here? Or was it something else I wrote that is not, that we've lagged out and aren't in sync? Because if you're looking at this and you see size -1, then the problem is my font is too small because that's an I. Unless I have a typo somewhere. Aha! Size -=1. That's what you're talking about. Ha ha ha. Dipolar, I decided it would be size -I because I also have a null terminator that's actually one past the size. So, yeah, I know you're looking at this one, but that one's on its way out. Alright. Okay, so that moves my memory. Gets rid of the... Right, so this one's going to work differently. It's going to move from what's here. Actually, first of all, I should deal with... Alright, if data I equals new line feed, then I want to take that and move it forward 1. And then at this location, I want to write a /r. And I need to increment I an extra time so that we don't hit the /n again. Okay, and then what this will do actually is assert that the buffer EOL convert out size is less than that. And I pulled that out into a function because on the outside I'm just going to allocate that once at the beginning. Okie dokie. How about we look into where I'm creating these now. So, create from string. Yes. Okay, so right here I've just finished copying in all the data. Okay, so here I copy, here I copy in the data, and here I EOL convert in the whole buffer, which is probably a bad idea on like a 10 megabyte file, so it won't be able to keep that around for that. We convert that in, and then whenever I... I don't know if I want to convert out and save and then convert back in, or convert out into a different buffer, save and throw that buffer away. Okay, so for now I'm just going to test to make sure convert in is working. And I'll figure out how I want to do that later. Okay. Now what I want to do is find some spots where... Well, first of all, there's no /r's anywhere, right? You see that? The /r's are gone, so that's a good sign. Now I want to see if what happens when I clean the lines. Oh, that's right, I took that out. Well, I think it worked, is the good news. What I could do is really quickly save this, and then I will take a peekaroo in Notepad. suspicious. I would have thought that would have had the line feeds missing. Okay, there's another way I can test to see if it's working. Create from string. Ta-da! Basic CVP. Now I just take a peek at the buffer data. How large is this? 10,000. That's, or 100,000. That's smaller than what the file has been in the past, which is encouraging. Yeah. Yep. So it has successfully nixified the file on load, which is good news. Okay. So now, when saving out, I'm gonna have it always just open up an extra buffer, I guess, and save, like, do the convert out there and then throw that away, so we don't do two conversions and we use extra memory. Alright, how much time am I at, by the way? Okay, I'm 1 hour in. I don't want to go over two... Oops. I don't want to go over 2 hours, but we've been pretty productive today. I am low on music, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'd have to come up with a new music playlist. But I'm having too much fun to quit. So, I'm gonna put in a little bit more time, and if someone has an idea of where I can go to fill in the silence of the music being gone, you let me know. Okay. File, save. Let's see. Right, so what I want here is I'm just going to grab all of the memory in the entire partition. So partition remaining part, and then later I can okay, temp buffer dot max equals so that should be fine. Well, I don't even really need to set. Yeah, I don't even really need to set that because I don't test against it. So I'll just do boom. I don't know. The thing about that is I still have to copy everything out, make the change. It's a tough call. Because if I don't copy everything out, I save a copy. And that might be less work, although I don't know. The copy is probably cheaper than the converting out, so I'll keep with the copy for now. Into the data from the loop data by the amount of loop size, and then buffer convert EOL convert out the temp buffer. I could also like use this loop and say that when I stringify for saving that I do like one line at a time with a /n at the end, or a /r/n at the end instead of just /n. That would require me changing how stringify works. I'm going to say that's a better idea, maybe, to explore. But I'm going to leave that for now, because it's kind of different than what stringify is, actually. And then convert temp buffer out. Then save, the temp buffer size needs to be this guy's size. And then say temp buffer data, temp buffer size. Shoot. This paper here is not so good for staying in its spot. Okay. If file save, why is that funny looking? Oh, it needs the partition. Right. Partition. Why is that funny looking? Okay. Now what I want to do is inspect and see if that has /r/n next time I load it. So let me put down create from string. Sure. Load that up. Test basic .cpp. All right. There it is. It's got /r/ends. Wow. Okay. And the loading it back in worked, so that was a success. Let's see. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, and then when I get back, we can get to what I originally wanted to work on, which is getting the Whitespace Cleaner fixed. In the meantime, wait, let me do this over here. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Here we are. Really quick before I go, D7 Samurai, wouldn't that be Tommy? I mean, it's a programming conference, right? So I figured that would be Tommy, unless you have any particularly good reason why that wouldn't be Tommy. Because I see you down here. You said Edmund. Alright, cool. So, I'm just catching up on the discussion here. It seems like we pretty much have this, figured out. I agree with the Seven Samurais list down here, except for the Edmund, which he's saying now is probably, Tommy, which makes sense. So, that's cool that we have that list. It is a pretty neat list. Alright, so I need to put some new tunes on. I don't know if anyone can point me into any good direction. Actually, there was someone who had a request. Let me see if I can track that down and field that request. Let's see. Alright, I have a few requests there. Abner. I don't know about that. Alright, this is a request I believe from Miblo, so I don't know, but it's got a person playing piano, which is a very good thing to see. It's very promising. So hopefully this will do. Wouldn't it be like Abner instead of Neil? Wouldn't that be what would happen? I mean, isn't that the natural progression? I assumed so. If I'm wrong, you let me know, but I assumed that was the natural progression. Okay. Is this what you're looking for, Miblo? Is this the idea? You let me know if I got something wrong. Alright. File, clean, Whitespace. There we go. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have the file converted to nix mode at the beginning. And now the trick will be let's see. Where was... Okay, this is a perfectly good spot. Okay, that's just totally wrong. Bad. I don't think it's recomputing line starts for one thing. This is what it, like, that's one thing that appears to be happening, but it definitely is clearing out the white space like it's supposed to on those lines. And it looks like that works now, which is good. But it's like, oh, I bet I know what this is. Okay, so right down here, no, here we go. So there, okay, there that one works. That one was cleaned. That one is broken. Okay. And the X position is off after this line of the mouse. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take a look at the data. I'm trying to think of when a good spot to pause it and look at the data is. Probably when I draw it. Now I just trigger it drawing, and we could take a peek at the file and see what's going on. So, file, tell me, good sir, what does your buffer think? Your buffer thinks that that's interesting. So. Data. Yeah, that's all /ns. And then, where is the file's cursor, by the way? That would be good to know. Or the view's cursor. 2008. Okay, so I want to get down to 2000, so I'll ask for 3,000 of them. 21,818. Okay, there's 2 /ns in a row, and I'm on that one. So it should believe that there's a line start at 219. Right? Is the lesson from that. So back to the buffer, if I look at the line starts, how many lines are there? 2,936. And I'm looking for something $21.19. Just manually binary searching that, and no, it's not there. Interesting. So the line starts either weren't computed or weren't correctly computed. Okay, I'm suspecting that I just didn't recompute the lines after doing the clean. So let's take a peek. Where is line starts? Here's where we measure the starts. Here's where we remeasure the starts. If one of those doesn't trigger, then we have a problem. Abner, if you could bring NASA to Ann Arbor, that would be awesome, because it's like career fair season right now, and there's, first of all, NASA, I don't even know if I've seen NASA. All I see around is like, go work at Goldman Sachs, and go work at Shell Station, and go work at Microsoft. A lot of people in Microsoft t-shirts and stuff. And I just, like, hardly even participate in career fair, because there's nothing that I find there that I want to go to, which is extra frustrating, because I was hoping that I would find cool stuff there, but I don't know where the cool people are, but they're not in the main part of career fair apparently. So you could help me out. So what we want to do is right, I don't care about this one. I don't care that you're measuring the line starts now. I want to see what happens after I clean all the lines. Yeah, you just don't recompute the line starts. That's your problem. So, let me go find the code that recomputes, that cleans everything, and tell it to, yeah, so after doing a batch edit, ooh, I wonder if I can use the batch edit to my advantage to speed up recomputing the lines. That would be interesting. I'll take a look at that next, but I want to buffer measure line starts. Where is, okay. There we go. Just need that. Clean. Whitespace. Amber, I didn't know you promised me to work with me. I thought the deal was that that we mutually hoped to work with each other. But if that's a promise, then I'm not complaining, because that's just like a whole nother step above hope. So let's see. That measures the starts, that does the allocations if necessary, which it shouldn't be necessary. Like, technically what I want to do is say that this shouldn't even happen, because I didn't change the number of lines in the file, so I should have enough lines in that array, which means assert, maybe. Haha, it's measuring the starts again. Boom. Okay, I bet I have to measure the widths as well. That would make sense. But if I can find... yeah, that's looking pretty good. That is looking pretty good. Now, if I go into Rappy mode... Are we in, okay, wrappy mode. And I push this down enough. Oh, it's like, that's not even a good place to do it in. Let me, oops, I don't know, undo, what are you doing? Just undo the, what are you, oh my gosh, okay, redo, okay, bye bye, breakpoints. I want to take this and just insert a bunch of space. So much so that when I start to shrink this, so it's bumping that down to a new line. Because it's stupid still, and it thinks that's a thing. Now, I'm going to clean the lines. Boom, which I have to get the cursor permanence figured out for that. Okay. Oh, I just got some cool ideas. Alright. And then the trick is, I bet that... Yeah, the widths should be wrong, but they're not? Oh, wait. No, they're totally wrong. That's... Okay. Yeah, so that's just me not thinking through what the effects would actually be. Okay, that makes more sense now that I think about it. Okay, so I need to measure the widths, which is fine. And it looks like I was right about this, so I'm just going to keep it that way and say, if that, then we'll just assert 0. Let's see. Assert 0 and then measure the widths. So what I need here is to grab an opaque, equals get opaque, grab the font, and opad data, opad offset, opad stride. I'm guessing I don't have font in scope. That's okay. I will get it. Does file have a font pointer? It does. Good job. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the cursor permanence for now. I've got an idea for that, but I'll work on that on my own time or on Monday if I don't get to it before then. But we have to at least make sure. Okay. Alright, so that's causing a line wrap. Good. Which, yeah, so this is working. Now, I clean my lines. Boot. And now when I click, okay, good. So it knows that those are the line wrap isn't there anymore, so that the positions are all coordinating. Okay, cool. So, cleaning whitespace basically works. Obviously, there's something I want to do still, which is getting the correct preferred indentation. Because right now I'm just saying every whitespace is worth a single. But what I really want to do is say, hey, also if you see a tab, count that this many times, right? As part of the interface. So let's take a look at this real quick. Find hard start. Great. Okay. Oh, I don't have an accumulator. Interesting. Do I want to put in another? Is the whole line white space is one thing I return. Was there a bad white space? I don't know that I don't know if I care about the bad white space. I'm going to say I don't care about that right now. I don't know why I'm even micromanaging the number of parameters, but I always do this crap. Okay. So instead of bad white space, what I want is preferred indent, or just I'll just say like pref. How do you spell preferred? Am I spelling that right? Okay. Preferred indent it is. At the beginning, preferred indent equals 0. And then with each passing character, if it's a slash n or a 0, you're done. It was all white space. Otherwise, if it's in that range, that's not white space. Cut out. Otherwise, yeah, this is the part we don't want. Alright, if you see a tab, okay, this is pretty good. Tab plus equals tab width, else plus equals 1. And where do I want to change tab width? Wait, Vim has a spell checker? Interesting. I have an idea, by the way. I have a plan for how I'm going to do Vim, but it's not going to come until after these buffer experiments now, so it's going to be a little bit. But I've got a plan now. I can do it. Okay, let's wrap this up. So, there's no concept of bad white space. There's just a preferred indentation situation, which I pass in right here. And then if it's not all white space, if it is all white space, I want 0. If it's not, I don't. Okay, so basically, if it's all white space, I want 0. Otherwise, do nothing. And I'll just say, ooh, that's a lot of extra work. Okay, so I do want to have a way of saying, do we need to do a replacement? And we need to do a replacement if there's anything in there. So if we need to do a replacement, either if it's all white or okay, this is a little bit annoying. Okay, so if it's all white and okay. No wait, okay, I got it. I know what I'm doing. Okay. If it's all white and the hard start is greater than the actual start position, then that would mean that we had an all white line but it wasn't empty, so we want to replace it then. If it was not all white, or more like not all space, Oh, no. Or if it's not all spaces, I want to replace it. Or if hard start is greater than start, I want to start plus preferred indentation. Or does not equal, I should say. Yeah, okay. So if those are the cases, I need another pointer after all. Int all space. I'm not super happy about that. I'll have to think about it. If C does not equal space, all space equals 0. Otherwise, it equals 1. Okay. Okay, we don't care about bad white space. All space, preferred indent. Wait, I'm confused. Did I delete something I didn't want to delete? Or preferred indent? No, I guess okay, so there's only 2 pointers. No, wait, no, okay, preferred indent is right there. There's 3 pointers. Okay. Thought I was losing my mind for a second there. I couldn't figure out where everything was going. So I need an all space pointer. I have to go back and make sure those are lined up because I just realized they might not be lined up. Golden. Okay, all white space and then all space. Let's take a peeky poo at that. If all white space, or it's not all space, or they don't line up, the place where we want it to be and the distance between them in characters. And then the idea is, all I have to do auto indent is just compute preferred indentation for auto indent. So this is the beginning of getting auto indent working again. The old auto indenter was a joke, so I basically just gonna ignore that it even exists. I don't even know if anyone knew there was an auto indenter because there was for a few versions. Okay. So now if I've done my job right, I can come in here and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. There we go. I just put 3 tabs in there, but no one wants tabs in their file, so now I clean all of my white space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's weird. It put too many spaces in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's like I did 5 per. Oh, I get it. Okay, well, that's what you get when you have me at the head. On the steering wheel, I'm adding the 1 here every time, and I'm adding the tab width. Okay, so then all I have to do is say at the very beginning, decrease tab width by 1, because then the extra will just work. That seems like a fine way to do it. Insobot, I'm in 6th place now? Neat. Neato. I'm sorry for doing stupid stuff, but it's at least cool that I'm in 6th place. Okay. Almost done. I'll be able to get out in time I was hoping to do 2 hours, and it looks like I'm going to hit the window. So, as I was doing before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, tab, tab, tab. Clean my white space, and now it's spaces again. Ha ha ha! Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. You should head on over to Martin Cohen's stream now. I'm sure he'll pick up on his project, hopefully. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I'm assuming he's got some streaming to do. So if you're looking for more streaming to do, I recommend heading out over there. Again, if you're catching the end of this, make sure you are looking at this GitHub repository in case you want access to the buffer implementation stuff, some of which is in there. Not the 4coder specific stuff like allocating memories and stuff, but some of the functions are in there. So make sure you're checking that out. I'm going to keep updating it every day while I work on the buffer project, and I'll see you guys Monday.